Hello everyone, Kevin from KTech Services, back again for another educational digitizing video. I've been asked about gaps in satin stitches on certain letters or symbols or etc. So this dollar or number sign that I have up here is I gave an example. Working with Wilcom Embroidery Studio digital edition today with Melco Machinery. Okay, and I was asked how can I go about fixing this so I don't have the gaps between. And as I show you here in this example, all the gap stitches. And now normally this would stitch out like these bars first, and then this vertical bar third. And by the time it get over it, it could pull away the first couple rows of the stitches. That's why you would see gaps in some cases, depending on how large your satin stitch or what you're trying to stitch in a sense. Okay. So I'm going to show you basically how to go about putting some tie down stitches, or I call them CAP, or caps, into the stitch before you stitch out the main stitch, so that you won't have those pull down of the stitches and those gaps. Okay, so now my Wilcom, your Wilcom might be set up a little bit differently. We're working with Melco Machinery today, so before I go any further, I'm going to go to design, and I'm going to go to select machine format. Make sure you have, since we're working with Melco Machinery today, make sure you go and set for Melco parameters. Okay, it's important because when you save the machine file output, it'll actually put the information that it needs for a Melco machine. Obviously, if you're working with a different machine, you select it for that machine. It's important when you're working with Wilcom. Okay, so and that's why up there in the corner I kind of see that it's actually set to Melco, and that's what we're working with today. Okay, so good. Okay, so let's go about putting some tie down or cap stitches into this number sign and everything. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to go ahead and turn this off. And I'm going to turn that off, so we can kind of just focus on this. Okay, and that's how we do that. You go to the color and you click on it, you hide or unhide. Okay, that's how you would turn off the color, or the element is how you would do it in Wilcom. Okay. Um, so we have our number sign here, so we're going to actually do some stitches and everything, and then so then that it won't pull away as it stitches out. Okay, and that's what we're going to after. So now Wilcom, obviously we're going to be working with run, and we're going to be working with column A in this video. So Wilcom has F8 for a run, and F4 for a column A and stuff like that. If you want to use that, it's up to you. I'm just going to kind of do it. I'll try to do it both ways here, but you can just follow along what I'm going to do here to basically add some stitches to it. So, for the number sign, so then we won't have those gaps. Okay, so I'm going to click on run, and I'm just going to I'm going to zoom in a little bit like on here, and I'm just going to start there, and I'm going to work right here, enter to close that, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on column A, or I'm going to do F4 on my keyboard, and I'm just going to put 4 points, input a satin stitch, just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to do a run, which is F8. Okay, and I'm going to go over to here, and then come down to here. If you need to zoom in, you zoom in, and then now, of course, let me just go ahead and finish this one real quick. And oh, no, I'm sorry, backspace. That's just a running stitch. I'm going to close. Now, I have it on true view. If you don't like that, you can go to graphical mode, however you want to do. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and column A is actually F4. Okay, and I'm going to do a satin stitch, 4 point, a column A, just like that. Enter to close. Okay, you get the idea. Okay, and then I'm going to do F8 for a run, and I'm going to go up um, into here. Okay, I just want to see what I'm doing here. Okay, and then I'm going to go right there, close that. Then I'm going to go F4 for a column stitch, and I'm going to do 4 points. Satin stitch, enter to close, and then I'm going to go F8 for a walk. The plus sign is actually where the last stitch is, so you know. And then I'm going to go over here, and right there, and I'm going to close that walk stitch, and then I'm going to go F4 for column A, and I'm going to do 4 points just like that, and enter. Okay, and then I'm going to do a F8 for walk, and then I'm going to go up to here a little bit. I'm going to scroll up here. I'm going to stop right here. Um, Enter to close, or enter the keyboard, or how you have a different enter on your mouse. I have actually enter. My scroll is actually a enter. So I'm going to do so I did it walk up here. I'm going to do F4 for a column, and I'm going to do 4 points sat stitches right there. Close that, and then I'm going to do F8 for walk stitch because I want to come over here. Um, and let's see, I'm going to go down to here. I'm going to close. Okay, and then I'm going to do a F4 for a sat stitch, column A, and I'm going to do that, enter. Then I'm going to do a F8 for a walk, and I'm going to come up to here, close, and then I'm going to do F4 for a column, and I'm going to column stitch this. Okay, and then I'm going to do F8, and I'm going to walk over to here and up here, close, and then F4, and I'm going to do a sand stitch there. Okay. All right. I know. Okay. So we're done with this. We can hit select on there. And then if we need to touch this up, we can. Now, of course, obviously with Wilcom, you have to click on reshape, and then you can actually start editing the column stitches, but you have to be in the reshape tool. Okay. That's a start and stop. It doesn't really matter at this juncture where we have that. Just make sure you're in the reshape if you're going to do it. And then what I do, I can actually, I actually will click on the element. That's the easiest instead of going on and off. Okay. And then you can adjust this a little bit how you like, if you need to. Let's see, I'm okay with that. Let's see. Do I want to adjust it? Well, maybe I want to adjust that. Just, well, you got to come over here. You got to find it. It's probably one of the, okay, it's probably this one here. Okay. So that's how you do that. And then I can actually adjust this a little bit. Okay, not so much worried about the start and stop at the moment. Um, okay, so that's okay. I'm going to make sure I save my work. Okay, um, all right. So that's we got all. I believe we have. Let me just go ahead and hit select so I can kind of see everything here. Okay, well, I do actually want to touch that one up. That'd be the first one. And I'm going to do reshape. And then I'm going to actually zoom in on my zoom key. And I'm actually going to adjust this. Now, we probably a little bit more than what we need. So we're going to make some corrections. That's a beauty part. We can just kind of edit it as we go. Now it looks like the walk stitch is a little kind of too much, so we're going to bring that down just like that. Now I could fix the other one a little bit too. That's a little bit too much too, but you get the point. You just got to practice with it and kind of find out what works for you. Okay, but that should do a pretty good job. And it's not that much stitching. Basically on these tie down or caps that I call it. Let's see. Okay, go to design fit window here. Okay, I'm going to make sure I save. And go to control key and actually select each one of these column A. And we're just going to, we don't need a whole lot of density because they're just caps. I'm just going to make those at 100%. And it doesn't need any underlay either, so you can make sure just turn off the underlay on those column A's because it doesn't need to have any underlay on there. The walk stitch should be fine. I'm just curious what it's set at 2.5. That's fine. We can leave that the way it is. Okay, so we're good now. And granted, the regular stitches are of course, obviously I already did that before, but that's standard. That should be at 90, which is fine. And then do we have an underlay in there? Well, we don't, but we could turn on, um, the underlay for that. If we want to, we probably just want to be honest, probably a edge, a normal, edge run and no, we don't need a double tatami. We just need a zigzag. That's probably what we need to set for the main number sign. Okay, but just kind of the stitches, stitch density in a sense. Okay, now granted, we're not done yet, or we're definitely not done yet, because we need to merge everything, but we're not there yet. I just wanted to get the tie down stitches set right, which is it's good. Okay, so um, we're good to go there. So now we just need to kind of do, well, we need to change, we need to move that into the beginning. So it's actually not that hard. Just this is what we actually digitize this way here, and just move, just drag this up and drop it, and now it'll merge because it's got the same color, which is perfect. And now that's actually shows first, okay, and stuff. I'm gonna make sure I save that. And now we can actually go up. I got the player, and I can actually play this, and you can kind of see how this is all. And it's just going to do nice little satin stitches in different directions, so they wouldn't pull down the stitches as it was when you before you did this. Okay, and as it does all the little caps, and then now it's going to start doing. The regular underlay that we just programmed and stuff like that to do the main stat stitches around it. Okay. And you get the idea. It's going to kind of do an edge. If you don't want to do the edge, you turn off the edge. You know, you do whatever you want. And I mean, this is kind of normal, but it's going to go around and just kind of do nice little edge walks. It's probably a little bit too much, okay? But, you know, depending on the size of what you're trying to stitch is what it really comes down to. And okay, now it's going to do a nice zigzag before it starts doing the main satin stitch. Okay, but I just kind of want to just kind of show you this a little bit more. Um, yeah, okay, obviously this is probably a little too much underlay, but you get the idea. I just want to let it show you a little bit. I just want it to show the satin stitch as I would draw it a little bit. But again, you test, you know, test different things and see if it works for you. Okay, now it's going to actually start doing the satin stitch. And with those caps and stuff like that, now as it goes over with it, the you know, and stuff. It won't pull down those kind of stitches if you're having that problem and stuff. So that pretty much in a nutshell of this video, how to kind of combat gaps in your satin stitches on different letters or symbols or anything like that. So probably what I would have normally, as what I talked about here, let me go ahead and just, and I probably would go to the main, no, of course, obviously the main stitch is this one. So obviously these are different because those are the caps. So this here, I probably would, we could probably we don't, you know what, probably don't even need it. We don't need an edge run. We probably just, to be honest, we probably just need a center run. If you want to put a zigzag, you can. If not, it's going to be up to you, but it kind of depends on the size factor. And this is basically 2 inch by, let's see, height is about 2 8, probably, you know, it's a little almost 3 inches. So, you know, kind of, again, it depends on, you know, we don't crowds, and you don't need these 2. You can actually delete these if you know, because they'll try to stitch it. This is just from my example that I did here. You can, well, we gotta be in. Oh no, well, you can't do it when it's when unhide all, because now you have to. Now you can delete it. Okay, it can't be hidden. Okay, but no, I just wanted to add here. Let me just, okay, so okay, obviously we did all this is stuff we just, you know, added for the tie down or cap stitches, and then of course obviously we have the number sign, but we just make sure we tie in or we might get a trim out of there. If it's not a big deal, but if you want to eliminate the trim, because right now that's the number 16 is the last element there. So we zoom in on it. If we look at the reshape, that's where it ends, and that's fine. You got the diamond green there, that's start, you know, but and then obviously if we look at and click on number 17, that's where it starts. So okay, we end there, and then like that, just move this, whoops, undo that, and make sure you grab, you know, make sure you change, see how it changes, always pay attention to the cursor. So that's, you know, and now it's telling me that I can actually move the start and just move that in the area that you had it. So obviously that's there, and then you know, you're in the area. So if it did produce a trim, that's all you would do, and then make sure you save it there. I just wanted to point that out because then you won't have an when you're tying in different elements. If not, if it's too far away, it's going to actually produce a trim. Okay, so you don't can eliminate a trim. You know, you just need to you know, because there's no reason for a trim in this scenario. So I just wanted to point that out. But I think that's it. I thank you for stopping by, watching this video. Please give me a thumbs up and a like, and we'll see you on the next video. Thank you for stopping by.